In a moment, I'm going to show you the tactic that the progressive media uses to constantly attack Donald Trump. It's basically a boilerplate speech that they give whenever they want that Trump is trying to divert everyone's attention from one thing to another. Remember, this is the party that said Trump, that's been attacking Trump every day since the day he was elected on several different issues, from one to another. The Mueller report, the Mueller investigation, the impeachment, the California impeachment, by the way, because the rest of the country voted 190 to 185 no against impeachment. It was California that created the impeachment in the first place. And they're the ones that have their own skeletons to hide. So always remember that too. So there's a constant battle with California going on. And in this instance, you've got a guy who's about to, you're going to hear a very short clip where he basically says, you can't try to change the issue. The thing is, the issue is never discussed in an honest way. They're blaming Trump for how quickly he responded or didn't respond. Well, if all your manufacturers in China, does it really matter? I mean, what can you really do? They got Ford making ventilators, but beyond that, they're blaming Trump for things that should have been put in place during the previous administration. And Trump is the one who's been saying from day one, we need to have more manufacturing in our own country. There were 17,000 products that were compromised because some aspect of them was made in China. 17,000 products were compromised. And they're blaming Trump when he's the one who's trying to bring the product lines back to the United States. So because they're constantly creating some mega issue that Trump is supposed to respond to their will and their whim, they then create the following talking point where Trump is trying to divert attention. Okay? So remember that, because if Trump had tried to shut down the economy earlier than he did, they would have been using the exact same speech. They would have been saying, Trump's trying to divert from the impeachment by shutting down the country. Trump's trying to take attention away from the Super Bowl by shutting down the country. February 12th, 2020, the Democrat House Judiciary voted to ban Trump's international travel ban, to reverse it. So they were on the wrong side. They're trying to reverse. On March 1st, when Trump banned all air travel, there was a lot of media flack. They thought he was crazy. Media was shocked that he did this. Yet now we're blaming him for not starting the shutdown a week or two earlier, which is a whole other story, that they're going off of that one article to try to attack him now, to say that 36,000 less people would have died. You don't know. There's going to be other curves coming. A bigger first curve could mean a smaller second curve. A smaller first curve or wave could mean a second bigger wave, because people won't take it as seriously. We don't know yet. So they're just throwing things out left and right, anything they can do to blame the president. And they're using something he didn't even cause, he didn't even start. That's what's most amazing. Not only do they blame Trump for things that they claim he did, they attack him for things he had nothing to do with. He didn't create the coronavirus, and they're blaming him as if he did. And there's no way to compare what he did. Actually, there is a way, but that's for another day. Just remember, this is the talking point that can be used at any time to attack a president who's already being attacked and who's trying to just do his job. Listen very closely.
Here's the thing. Trump's attempt to change the subject to immigration, or to China, or Iran, or to anything is not going to work. One Republican close to the White House told Politico that messaging alone...
See, this is... So Trump is supposed to be authoritarian, and then he would have been attacked for being authoritarian. Instead, he's communicating and giving latitude to each state, and he's attacked for that. He's being attacked by both sides in all ways. So I wouldn't take this stuff seriously. It's not worthy. I'm going to play that talking point again, because that is the boilerplate message that can be used at any time against Trump.
That message... Sincerely, President Donald J. Trump, CC Jafar. Here's the thing. Trump's attempt to change the subject to immigration or to China or Iran or to anything is not going to work.
Actually, it is going to work because those are salient issues. There is money year after year and resources that is being diverted to all kinds of economic resources that the undocumented need. In California alone, there are like 55,000 or 60,000 newborns every year to undocumented parents. Well, you know, the kids have to be taken care of. It just, you don't want to ever blame the child for the actions of the parent. So there's a financial cost there, and that cost is being absorbed by guess who? The previous immigrant generation that did not receive instant entitlements when they first came to this country back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. The Democrats are literally bribing the next wave of voters by demanding that there be no wall, that all undocumented and newly arriving get benefits from the moment they arrive into the country. And those benefits have to come from somewhere. And I think my mom was a direct victim of that based on the way she was treated in 2018 in the ER that ended her life. So this guy is not your friend. He's a multi-millionaire with the best healthcare plan possible who's completely clueless or heartless as to how seniors are treated. The rest of us, the older we get, we're going to suddenly realize, wow, after we paid into the system all this time, now we're being treated like trash. This is the guy who helps make it happen. So, yes, immigration needs to be discussed. Yes, jobs in the United States, manufacturing coming back to the United States, that needs to be discussed. They're trying to I can't say the word. They're trying to confuse the issue between what we need in this country to be a more well-rounded country with just attacking Trump. That's it. They want, the Democrat progressives want as many newly arriving in as possible. They want to give them all the entitlements that should be going to seniors, through better health care plans, so that they have those voters for the next 30 years. Because by the time those voters turn 55, over half of them will flip.
And presents for Trump. Okay, how about messaging and sitting on my enormous dimpled keister? Because I'm willing to do anything as long as it doesn't involve doing anything.
And that's who the progressives are listening to. So beware, be careful. This guy's not your friend. He doesn't represent you. All of the nighttime show hosts who are multimillionaires do not represent you. They're clueless about how seniors are treated. And they don't care. They think they'll even make jokes about older people. And just beware, be careful, because you're not going to be better off with a Democrat in 2020. Because they're going to just try to revise the last 4 years, say it never happened, it was all a sham, it wasn't. The fact that Donald Trump won was because people were afraid of Democrats who want to let as many people into the country as possible, even as the healthcare system as it exists is failing those who are already here.